Okay. Seniors are in a breakout room that need to take the final. They're going to town there. So next week is finals for all of our classes. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The schedule will be posted, I imagine, in your advisory. I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but this class will be on Wednesday next week. Our final will be on Wednesday. Now, again, remember, you can be exempt from your finals here in the spring based on your absences at advisory, no missing assignments, all that good stuff. So I'll be sending out email later this week on deadlines, but generally, I'm thinking I have to send out the exemption emails like Monday or Tuesday. So I'm going to check and see what the deadline is. But you'll probably have at least until Monday at 7 a.m. to get anything missing turned in order to be eligible, possibly for an exemption. So get everything turned in this week, so you don't have to worry about, gosh, am I going to be exempt or not? So uh, so that's coming up. If you need help with anything, this is an A-Day. A-Day Friday. So if you need help getting anything in, you'll have Wednesday and Friday that we'll have class. So that can be a big help right there. So don't despair. There's still time to get things turned in this week. You bet, Cole. If you got to do that, better hustle. So let's see. This week is our last lesson because we won't have a lesson next week. Next week's finals week. So we will meet next Monday. Not sure exactly. We may look at the final or something. I haven't decided what we're doing on Monday because our final's not until Wednesday next week. But we do have classes Monday and Tuesday next week. And you guys we have classes Tuesday after finals, which is kind of weird this year that worked out. But those will be all kinds of different stuff. There will be you can sign up in RTI for what you want to do on that last Tuesday. Now that's not all created yet. We're still creating RTI sessions that you can sign up for. There will also be, I believe, some community service opportunities if you need hours for that. So we'll have something set. Look for emails on that probably from your advisory or from Ms. Scott, our principal, for what are the options in 2 weeks for that Tuesday after Memorial Day, after finals, because that is officially the last day of school. But we are coming up to that. We'll get there. That's going to be a B day. So, but it's not really scheduled classes. Like I say, we're going to do community service, and you can sign up for whatever RTI sessions you want to be, like a morning and afternoon RTI sessions, and just random stuff like that. But anyway, let's get into our last lesson here and finish out programming. Okay, looking at our grade screen. All right, getting to the bottom, we have 7.04 defense mechanisms. That's it. And then you see the semester 2 final exam is there for anyone who will need to be taking that. Semester 2 final exam. Let's see. Lily, I had a question. After finals, we come back in for classes till Wednesday, right? Or is that full week after testing week? So next week we have the full week, but finals are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then students come back Tuesday only. Wednesday is a last teacher work day after Memorial Day. That what is it, the 28th or something like that? 28th. That's a teacher day only. There's no classes, nothing for students on the 28th. You only have the 27th after finals. There is no work to do that Tuesday unless one of your teachers assigns it. I will not have work to do that Tuesday because, like I say, you'll have options for community service and other stuff like that. Since a lot of you need community service hours for graduation, so your regular classes will not have assignments, but you may have optional stuff like that to do. So, but yeah, Monday is Memorial Day, so there'll be no school. That's a holiday, but Tuesday will just be like community service and optional other different things to do. But your classes should be done. There'll also be if for some reason you're sick or something and miss finals, there should be some opportunities to make up finals that Tuesday morning as well. But again, check with your teachers to see what their specific plan is. I'm going to have some online Desmos activities, I believe. If anybody wants to come do some fun math games, that's what I'm going to offer. on that morning. But I believe you'll be able to sign up for what you want to do in RTI Scheduler for that Tuesday. So lots of questions there because it's kind of weird to have class after finals are over. But, all right, let's look at 7.04 defense mechanisms, and we will be done with all of our lessons in programming. Module 7. Again, there's the final exam. It's already been loaded up in Buzz. So let's look at this lesson. What comes to mind when you think of cybersecurity defense mechanisms? If you answered firewalls, antivirus applications, and software patches, you nailed it. All of these are considered defense mechanisms and provide a strong foundation against potential cyber threats. So let's take a look at how these techniques are used to fight the war on cybercrime. So we have a little video that we will take a look at here.
A long time ago, in a universe far, far away. Wait a minute. That can't be right. Oh, okay, I've got it now. A not so long time ago, in, well, this universe, a battle is being fought. But not a battle for space, one for your confidential data. Like the captain of a starship, cybersecurity pros set up defenses against those looking to steal personal information. Attacks can come from viruses, malware, or hostile traffic. Cyber attackers are creative, so it takes an arsenal of shields to fully protect valuable information. Industry professionals use 3 primary cybersecurity shields. First is antivirus software, which is specifically designed to detect and destroy computer viruses. Next, there's anti-malware software. It's designed to detect software that tries to disrupt, damage, or gain unauthorized access to a computer system. And finally, there are protocol analyzers, one of the most important tools in network security. These are used to detect hostile or malicious traffic passing over an unauthorized port. It takes all 3 shields to have a solid defense system in place. As you explore the future of cybersecurity, keep defense mechanisms in mind. They're the key to winning the battle for your information. Now, may the shield be with you!
All right, there you go. There you go, guys. Let's move on to page 2. Security control types. So a security control, let's get their definition. That is a safeguard or countermeasure to avoid, detect, counteract, or minimize security risks to physical property, information, computer systems, and other assets. So a security control, also known as a countermeasure, is designed to make an information system secure. It's designed to protect the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of data. CIA, remember that CIA triad we had last week? And the information system. Security controls can be divided into 3 broad categories. So the first one is administrative. Administrative controls refer to the policies, the procedures, the guidelines that define your employee actions. That's what, like the employee handbook says, this is how you work with our computer system. This is what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. This can apply to employee hiring and termination, security awareness training, disaster preparedness and recovery plans, and consistent security audits. Also technical controls include hardware and software that's designed to protect your assets. That includes encryption, making your data in a code, firewalls, smart cards, network authentication, and access control lists. And then there's also physical controls. That means like actually putting a lock on the door, right? Items that deter access to buildings and hardware. That can include security cameras, alarm systems, security guards, photo IDs, door locks, and biometric devices like fingerprint scanners. All of that part of physical control. So physical is a big part of controlling your network as well. Page 3. Control functions. Additionally, these controls, administrative, technical, and physical that we just looked at, can be divided into types depending on the function. So it could be preventative, right? That's a lot of the physical controls are preventative. That's any security measures designed to stop unwanted activity from occurring. One example is a security fence around a building to keep out unauthorized intruders, right? That's a physical preventative control. Could be detective controls. That's any security measures implemented to detect and alert to unauthorized activity in progress or after it occurred. Like a home alarm is a good example of a detection system. That's another physical one example. But you could have software that also detects intrusions that alerts you to something as well. And then there's deterrent. Deterrent controls discourage possible attackers by putting on a noticeable show of security, right? Something to psychologically discourage people from even trying. For example, on them big signs it says like no trespassing or security cameras in use or something. There's lots of things you put up there just to make people think twice about even trying it. So deterrents are great. So you want deterrence, you want preventative. Detective, it's often too late. That's the problem there. Could be corrective. Corrective controls include any measures taken to repair damage to their prior state following unauthorized or unwanted activity. That might include patching a system or your computer system finding a virus and quarantining it and pulling that out of your network. So again, what's corrective is it's too late. They've already gotten in there. Compensating controls do not prevent an attack, but can restore the system, having like a data backup, something to help you recover after something's happened. All right, knowledge check. A business installs motion activated lights around its building perimeter. Which category and function is this security control? Motion activated lights. Well, I'd say which category. This would definitely be physical, right? It's something you actually can hold in your hand. It's a physical item. But which function is it? Is it compensating, corrective, deterrent, detective, preventative? Well, I kind of think it could fall under a couple of them. It certainly could be detective, to detect an alert. It could be a deterrent as well. I could take an argument either way. You could argue as a deterrent because if you see that, then you might say, oh, wait, they got motion activated lights. If I go there, they'll see it. But the camera and all of the motion activated lights, let's see which one they categorize it at. Detecting and deterring. So they gave us credit for both of them. Good job. Cole was on that detective. Motion activated lights are categorized as a physical control. We knew that. And their functions are both detecting and deterring. So, yeah, a lot of them do have more than one function. Okay, layered security. So, layered security, defined as security designed so an intruder must bypass more than one control to achieve action on objectives. That's considered the best protection, right? Not just one thing to stop people, but multiple things they got to go through. With layered security in place, an attacker must get through multiple defense mechanisms. Risks are reduced, so no single control is considered untouchable. If you just have one thing that kind of stops it, somebody's going to get through that. But layered security can delay an attacker until the intrusion is detected, because that's what you really want to do. You want to know when they're in there and get them kicked out before they do a lot of damage. The efficiency of each control can be measured by how long it delays an attack. So let's look at this. Consider the following scenario. A student creates a presentation and saves the file to a USB drive. Right? The student then places the USB drive on the teacher's desk. All right, I've saved this file. Here it is. I'm going to turn it in on a USB drive. The teacher finds the device and plugs it in without giving much thought. Oh, student must have left this on my desk. I'll just plug it in. From that point, the teacher's computer now is potentially vulnerable to malware or another compromise because who knows what's on there. In addition to the student presentation, the USB drive could carry malware or a Trojan or a virus to the teacher's computer. So let's select each item to learn more about the three types of layered security. All right, right here. Training, proper user training could prevent the USB drive from being left unattended on a desk and from being used without a virus and malware scan first. So training, that's administrative controls, right? Administrators say you need this training. Intrusion detected. If the computer is compromised, intrusion detected and logging alerts could prevent the malware from spreading on the network. Security controls when the computer scan the disk for malware or block access automatically if it hasn't been scanned. And it's not saying the student is trying to intentionally, the student may not even know that malware was on there. They just grabbed a USB drive that they had laid around and not even know it's on there and just save their project to it and turn it in. But it's always good, especially if you haven't been in control of the USB drive the entire time, to have that virus scan just to make sure somebody hasn't put something on there you're not aware of. All right, page 5. Countermeasures. So a network-based intrusion system, or NIPS, they like these little acronyms all the time. NIPS is a countermeasure used to monitor network traffic for suspicious activity. Countermeasure is defined as an action taken to counteract a danger or threat. Its main function is to actively protect the network from threats like unauthorized access or denial of service attacks. This is done by analyzing the protocol activity. So this is done using a protocol analyzer. So this is a tool, either hardware or software, used to capture and analyze the signals and data traffic over a communication channel. Now, a drawback to NIPS is that a false positive denies legitimate traffic, right? Maybe it's not a problem. It's not something that's suspicious activity, but your intrusion detection system went, wait a minute, I think there's something wrong here, and I'm going to block this. Maybe it's actually someone that's valid. Maybe someone that's really supposed to be allowed in your network to get that information. So you could have false positives. And also, NIPS cannot examine encrypted traffic. So if it's been encoded in some way, it's not able to check that. So this is where a host-based system, or HIPS, so N is network-based, H is host-based. That can work in tandem with NIPS. So a NIPS device might prevent a denial of service attack, where a HIPS solution could focus on the protection of software and data on a host computer. So you kind of see some of the layout of where this kind of works. You have the internet, and when the internet, it can either go this way and hit a firewall and then get that network intrusion protection, and then hit a router and go to individual computers. Or perhaps it comes from the internet straight to this NIPS and then to a hard drive on the network where you have email, denial of service, and web HIPS, host intrusion prevention systems. So just different layouts. So a NIPS system can reset a network session, right? If it thinks someone shouldn't be in there, it'll kick them out. Apply firewall filters to reject traffic. Reduce bandwidth speeds. If it detects an intrusion, it could cut them down where they can hardly get any data. It can modify packets. Now, data travels through your network in packets. It could run a script or other process. It activates something to help protect the system. A host internet protection system has the ability to monitor log files, check system integrity, network interfaces, and process launches. It can run agent software, anti-malware, antivirus type stuff, and it can manage and send alerts regarding suspicious users. So it sends it to the network. Hey, someone's logged in here and I think there's something wrong. All right, last page. Knowledge check. Read the question, select the best answer. Which is considered an administrative control? All right, put that in the chat, anyone. What do you think? Which of these is considered administrative? And yes, that generally means administrators. It means the boss puts this in position. Administrative. Is that a security camera? Is that a network firewall? Is that a policy handbook? Or is it antivirus software? Cole's giving it a shot. Administrative controls. Think of this as something that the administrators, this is like who owns the company or human resources. This is something they would put in place to help protect their network. Anybody else there? I know Cole's not asleep. Okay, Braden thinks it's a network firewall. got a couple of different opinions. Megan's going with the antivirus. Well, think about administrative. That means the administrators. That means the boss. Like at the school, that'd be like the principal or the vice principals. This is stuff they would do. The principals, the vice principal would never put in an antivirus. They're not the IT people. They wouldn't have a network firewall. They're not the IT people. They wouldn't install the security camera. They would set the policies. The administrators set the policies. Say, this is there you go. Liliana's right on it. Set the policies. This is saying, in order to use our network, you need to have these rules to follow. You need to have this training. You need to, all that. So the administrators set the rules. They set the policies. So think of that when you see administrative. They're not the ones down there actually physically doing the work or installing security cameras. They're setting the rules for everyone to follow. Policies. All right, let's try another one. Which control function describes any security measure designed to prevent unwanted activity? Oh my gosh, I think it's in the word. Is it deterrent? Corrective, preventative, compensating. Was preventative one of ours? It's not corrective. That's out there. It happens. It's not compensating. Did they call it preventative or did they have a different word? A deterrent is also prevent, but I know we use deterrent. I'm not sure we use preventative as let's see. Nope, it is preventative. Yeah, preventative. Deterrent is where people don't even think about it. Don't try it. Look, I've got all this stuff here. Don't even try it. But preventative prevents it. So they may try it, but it prevents it from happening. Preventative. What is considered a drawback to a network intrusion protection system? A network. False positive will deny legitimate traffic. There is no drawback. It doesn't actually protect a network, or it's considered outdated. We did use it. Braden said, yep, preventative. It's in our quiz too. He's already looked ahead. Remember, one of the drawbacks to network-based was it could think someone is suspicious and block them when they're not. Could have a false positive. Right? Could be a false positive. Last question. Which example is an example of a physical? You ought to be able to get this one. Physical access control. Remember, if it's a physical access control, you could actually hold it in your hand, right? It's something you can actually touch. Like an antivirus program, we don't actually touch that. You might touch a disk that it's on, but you're not actually, the program itself is something the computer has. You don't touch the antivirus. So which of these are physical access? Policy handbook, well, that's administrative. A firewall is software. A router can be software or hardware, but a router does not an access control. It just sends things where it's supposed to be. Video camera would be physical access control, right? Video camera. All right, that is the end of our last lesson of the year. Let's look at our assignment. Which type of security control regulates assets that deter access to buildings and software? Business performs a weekly data backup. Which category and two functions describes this? How does a network-based intrusion prevention system protect the network? Which of the following is the benefit of layered security? Which of the following is used to detect hostile traffic passing over unauthorized ports? Remember, your questions may be different. There's a bank of questions. Because just because I have a question, you may have a different question. Because Buzz has more than 5 questions that it picks from. It's got a bank of questions. Says, okay, I'll give you this question, this question, this question. And somebody else that may choose different questions. So be on top of that. This is our last lesson, everybody. So we are done with programming. If you are still missing assignments, you've got all this week to get them turned in. Even if you have too many absences, you're like, well, I can't be exempt anyway. You can still turn these in and raise your grade. Get rid of the zeros. get your grade upside. Because maybe when you take the final, since I'm not exempt anyway, what if you bomb the final? What if I got a 20? I got a 20 in the final. Boy, pull my grade down. Don't want that. I want to do okay on the final, right? I don't want to do that. But if something did bomb the final, I don't want it to pull my grade down to where suddenly, that's not a grade I want. I wanted this grade here. I was happy where my grade was. Well, that's why you push it up as high as you can before you take the final. Because then, if you bomb the final, it won't pull it down to an area that you're like, So, yeah, so you got all this week to turn in anything missing. If you need help, this is an A-Day Friday. So I'll be here Wednesday and Friday. I can help you with your programs. I can review anything else you need to review. We got a lot of 5-question quizzes that we've had, especially in the last few weeks. So get all those turned in. If you have everything turned in, but you're like, I still need a few more points, go back and see what you can redo. If you want to redo something, I welcome that. Because if you can show me you can do better or know better, then let's raise your grade. So any questions on that, I'm happy to work with you. Happy to help you. I want you to get a good passing grade and be happy with where you're at and move on to whatever waits for you next year. So some of you may be in my cybersecurity class next year. We don't write programs in cybersecurity. It's more like what we've been doing these last few weeks, just to let you know, or whatever you're going to do next year. But let's finish programming the best we can finish and be happy. So like I said, this week, our last lesson, we're done now. Get this turned in. Next week, we'll have class Monday. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do because the final is Wednesday. So with our final Wednesday, when it's not like we're going to have another lesson or anything else to do on Monday, but I'll figure out. We may review the final or something. I'll get there. And then the final Wednesday morning, starting at I'm pretty sure 7:15. But what's your advisory? You'll probably have that posted advisory, and I'll post it in Google Classroom once I have a schedule. We have the schedule. I just don't have a graphic of it. I'll get a nice picture of it and get it posted in Google Classroom so you can see exactly when finals are. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for you. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. We're going to get this semester wrapped up, kicked to the curb, and we'll move on. So we'll see you guys.